After preparing for Dragon Con, going to Dragon Con, getting sick from Dragon Con, and having to deal with all the Irma rain and working on some projects, I am back. And in this video, we're checking out FoamBlast 3D printed Bobo Style stripe triggers, which is a mouthful to say, with a chance for some of you to win one for yourself at the end of this video. For those who may not know what a Bobo Style trigger is, first off, I didn't come up with the name, but I am totally cool with it. Basically, it's based around the epoxy putty triggers I've made for builds like the Pink Menace, where epoxy putty is used to create a curve for your finger to give it more contact with the trigger as well as more added comfort, and the epoxy putty adds a bit more stick out to the trigger so your finger isn't mushing up against the shell when you go to rev your flywheels. FoamBlast has taken this concept and turned it into a 3D printed part that you can use for your own builds, which is cool, and installing them is super duper simple. The first step is to open up your strife, obviously, and then remove the piece that covers the stock trigger. Remove the stock trigger and put the rev trigger spring onto your new trigger. If you plan on using the stock switch, you'll need to cut either the trigger or the switch's nub thing to an angle so the new trigger doesn't get stuck. If you plan to use a micro switch, position the switch where you want it to go and then cut the trigger to suit your needs if you have to. And with your trigger installed, revving your flywheel should be a much more comfortable experience. It's a small addition that can make a big difference, and there's a reason I've taken the time to make my own out of epoxy putty. Now, I would highly recommend using some sort of lubricant to lube up all the sides of your rev trigger so it doesn't get stuck, and you might need to sand down some of the areas so it doesn't grind against the shell due to the tolerances of 3D printing, but I highly recommend lubricating the trigger before you close up your shell. The cost for one of these triggers is $3.50 before shipping on FoamBlast website, and I'll have a link in the description to your store where you can get one for yourself. I think the price is just fine and definitely worth it for those who want a more comfortable trigger without having to go through all the steps that I do to make my own from epoxy putty. On top of that, FoamBlast print quality is pretty darn good and the trigger is very comfy. It differs slightly from how I do mine. The bottom area is wider. I like to taper mine off for aesthetic reasons. But just like with LZ mods, I think it's really cool that someone liked what I was doing and made a 3D printed version of it so it's more accessible to everyone so you can have a comfier build. It's pretty awesome. And now for the part of the video that I'm sure most of you are waiting for, and that is the contest and how to enter. I have 7 of these triggers to give away thanks to FoamBlast sending me a nice package full of them back when they first came out with these things. And on top of that, 2 of the winners will be receiving a pair of Michelle 2.0 motors to go along with their prize. The way you enter is simple, and I'll have all the rules and requirements written in the description box if you want to go back and read through them. And the contest is international, so anyone anywhere in the world can enter. All you have to do is leave a comment below. Comments talking about how you're the first or second viewer or commenter or whatever like that will be disqualified because it annoys me. But your comment can be about whatever besides that. However, you can only leave one comment. Multiple posts or replies to other comments will disqualify you from entry. If you want to edit your comment or delete it and re-comment, that is fine, as long as there's only one comment from you. After this video goes live, I will leave the contest open for 2 weeks before picking. Any entry after this timestamp at the bottom of the screen will not be entered. I'll also have this timestamp in the description box. When the contest is closed, I will use Comment Picker and/or Sandra series to choose the winners and verify they meet the requirements. The most important part of all this though is please make sure there's a way that I can message you, whether through email or through the YouTube Messenger. I can also comment on your comment, but I've seen that that doesn't really work in the past. And I've had to pass up people who have won before because there was no way for me to tell them that they won. But please don't post your information in the comment section, just check your YouTube settings to make sure there's a way for me to contact you somehow. And lastly, I will post a video with the winners' names after the contest. They will have 48 hours to respond to my message if I am able to contact them, and if there is no response by the time 48 hours is up, I will pick a replacement winner. And that should be it. If you have any questions about the contest, I would say it's safer to contact me via my Facebook page or through my email, which is in the About section of my YouTube channel, so you don't like void your entry if you reply back to your own comment, and so I don't have to comment on a bunch of stuff and just muddle things up. Anyways, thanks to FoamBlast for sending me a box of these triggers and basically sponsoring this giveaway, which is very, very cool of them. If you're interested in getting one for yourself outside of the contest, like I said, I'll have a link in the description to where you can buy these. Thank you for watching, good luck to everyone, and have a great day wherever you are.